please.
Okay, I'm starting the stream.
Okay.
Starting recording. I did the bots. I did the stream key switches earlier, so everything should be working.
Mute. There we go. Ah.
Oh, my kitties are all tuckered now. They were attacking
Aww.
each other, and now they're laying next to each other like, mutual surrender.
I'm tired. Are you tired? I'm tired. All right.
Sounds like a lot of days at my house.
It's like when our plot staff is really, really tired on Sunday morning. And there's literally a time where one of them had like a packet and he just looked at somebody passing by and was just like, literally said something mortal strike, and the guy was like, dodge, and he was like, I'll accept it, and then like wandered off to a cabin to go to bed.
That seems very legit.
He was very tired.
I don't blame him. Okay. Is that
Deep breaths. Much zen. Oh, share things. Yeah, that'd be good. Hey, peoples.
I did a thing, sort of.
We're live. We're doing a thing.
Doing a thing. The Spart of Spooky Month. Everything's good.
Why? The YouTuber I was watching earlier today, it's like, Happy Halloween! He's like, this will come out sometime in October, and all of October is Halloween, so...
Yes!
Accept. Hi, kitty. Do you want to jump up here and say hi? It is Black Cat Month. Do you want to flex? No, I want to try and unplug your USB, Mom. Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuzzy jerk.
My cats are so mean about that. Not mine. Now hopefully the rest of the household shuts the hell up. They've been pretty good, but it's, with the holiday, everything's a little weird.
Yeah.
Like, Fletcher has a fall break. At the same time, Victor has 2 days off of work. So it's like the whole freaking house is home. All day long. Got spoiled for a while. Alright. We still got 1 minute. Yay.
Oh,
There's somebody here. Hi, everybody. I needed coffee.
So costume.
Yep.
I need to make my own little note about what I've been up to.
Yeah, you should, probably.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. Halloween wreath. I thought I did.
No,
I didn't even notice the format thing because I did my notes on my phone.
Oh, I'm
today.
doing most anticipating. Bleh. Bleh. Okay, I did. So, it's one of my most anticipated. Yes, Averick. Okay, I'm good whenever. Maybe. Possibly.
Okay. 3 o'clock. I'm gonna push the button.
We got perspective, we got the cool, we got the muscle, and you know we effing rule. We are the Geek Grills, we are the Geek Grills, alright. We got the know-how, we got control, we got the knowledge, and we tell you how it rolls. We are the Geek Grills, we are the Geek Grills, alright. We are the Geek Grills, we are the Geek Grills, tonight. Hell yeah.
Well, welcome to episode 210 of Geek Grills. Geek Grills podcast is primarily supported by our patrons at www.patreon.com/grills. I am Ray, and I am joined by my co-hosts Ember.
Hello.
And Linda.
Oh. I need to close my door real quick.
Okay.
Sorry,
You got
I
a loud
didn't realize.
husband.
He's real loud. Give me a second.
It's fine.
Okay. Am I back in frame? I think I am.
You are
Alright,
back
there
in
we go.
frame.
Sorry.
And that's fine. And today's topic, we're going to be talking about haunted houses / haunted mazes. Just get feel for spooky month.
Yay,
it's
spooky
October.
month.
And before we go into that, what have you girls been up to? Linda?
I have been doing lots of sewing. So much sewing. Hold on, let me finish my stitch. This is a different type of sewing. I'll get to that in a moment. So, lots of sewing. First thing I kind of did is I just kind of got it into my head that I wanted to fix some of my clothes. So this is a scrub that I have. It's got like Mickey's on it. It's all Halloween-y themed. But being that it's a scrub, it's made of a not very stretchy material. And even though it's a 2X, it is a 2X for Smurfs. So it's like the top fits fine, but around my hips, it's like tight. Because it's cut up and down. I think this might have been a men's cut. I got it at a thrift store, I think, or off at like eBay or something. So basically I just went in and made some gores in the sides, so to give myself a little extra fabric. So now it fits nicely over my hips. And it's much more comfortable because I didn't want to get rid of it because it's so cute. So very cute. Other thing that I've sewn, I've made myself a Minnie Mouse Disney bound dress.
Oh,
The front, and then the back comes around. It's built like the other dresses I've made recently. So the front has this little pocket that I've put on it, and then it comes around and it's got buttons that button around the front, and it's like floofy and swooshy.
cute.
You can't really see it super well right here, but I love it very much. I'm going to wear it to Epcot. I'm very excited.
You should send me a picture for our
I will.
podcast listeners.
I will send you a picture. I've been packing for Disney because this is the first trip I have taken out of state, out of house, in a year and a half, 2 years. So I'm very excited. And I've basically packed already. I've got a couple of other things. I have to add that to the, obviously, because it wasn't sewn yet. And I need some accessories, of course. But I basically packed an outfit for every day already.
You need some pearls, my dear.
Some pearls, yes. I need some pearls.
I have so many fake pearls.
Don't
Take
worry,
them.
so do I. So that's sewing and getting ready for a trip. Crochet-wise, I have made a couple of these little Animal Crossing bell bags. So, for those of you familiar with it, they're just little yellow bags with the brown star on them. And fall down. Okay, it's fine. I was also working on a Grinch scarf. I basically, I'm gonna put yellow eyes on this green part, and then the rest of it is basically his hat, quote unquote, and I'm gonna put a little pom-pom on the other end of it, so that it's got like his face kind of staring at you, and then it goes scarf around your neck, and then down, and there's pom-pom. Sorry if I'm rambling. I'm about to explain why I'm rambling. My husband and I celebrated our 7th anniversary today.
Yay!
So, yay! He took me out to a lovely dinner where we sat out on the patio. And I had lovely pasta and cake and drinks. So I only had one vodka cherry lemonade, but it was really good.
It sounds like all the food coma ingredients.
Yes. But it was really fun, and it was nice. It was a lovely night out outside, so good. It was good.
Hooray, fall weather finally, right?
Yes.
Oh, I forgot. I went to a pumpkin patch. I forgot to write
Yes.
that down. I went to a pumpkin patch, and I got to go on a hayride. So that was fun.
Nice.
Now moving on.
What have you been up to, Ember?
So I don't know. Did we? I guess I talked about it on our last episode. I get confused when we have our, week off for
What happened?
for
My
production.
video.
production.
What happened to my video? There it goes.
There you
go.
What?
You should see what that looks like on the stream, by the way, because it's all cut out of our Discord window. So on the stream, all of a sudden, you became an icon, but it made our other faces switch places, so we had the wrong names on.
I don't know what happened. All right, continuing on. Sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. It's haunted.
Haunted, yes.
It would be a laugh for the people here, and podcast people would be like, they didn't see it. So I didn't know if we talked about it because it was a couple weeks ago, but my husband and I had done a date night where we went to we picked up pottery stuff because it was when my son had COVID, so I probably did talk about it. And we all were staying home, so we picked up pottery and we glazed it and then we dropped it off. So I got it backfired. And
Yay!
my husband made this amazing skull. He put the glaze super thick and these bloody drips coming out of the mouth and eyes. And he did like this moss growing on the side. And he used like cloth to distress the gray color. And he did a really cool skull. And I did a plate. The kitchen witch. But the people at the pottery place were like, oh my god, that's so cool. Did she actually draw that and stuff? Because, people get a pumpkin and it's a pumpkin shaped plate and they probably just get a lot of jack-o'-lanterns. And I did a tree with ravens in it. And it came out really cool.
I love it.
New craft medium. I'm so excited. We are totally going to be like 10 out of 10. We'll do this again. It was very easy. I was intimidated because I don't understand how glaze worked, but the guy was amazing explaining like glaze. It's like paint, but it's basically just filled with crushed glass so that when they fired it, and he was good at, he had a color wheel of a glazed like flower that showed the glazes we picked out what color they would end up. So it's a little weird when you're first painting. It was like with me, I was using like a tan and a gray and white and black, so it wasn't that big a deal. But my husband was using all these colors and like he's painting on this red, but it looks pink.
Yeah.
And how is this moss gonna fire up? So it was really an interesting process, and they turned out good. So
cool.
Happy. Been making spooky masks with the spooky fabrics.
Yay!
I wore one out with like candies on it the other day, and everybody's like, "Ooh!" And the bat fabric again, which is funny. I was telling that story on Facebook to my mother-in-law today, because that fabric was given to me way at the back of the pandemic when there's still actually a shortage of masks, and an EMT friend of mine needed some. And I was making her mask, and she brought me this fabric with bats all over it because of where COVID evolved from. And she thought it was really funny, and she wanted bat masks. So I have some of that fabric left. But like last summer, somebody yelled at me on Facebook, like when I posted a picture, "Oh my God, we're not going to need these by Halloween, and what are you bringing into the universe?" And I'm like, it's a joke. But now, looking back, it's like, and that was last Halloween. Like she was worried about.
Yep.
Yeah. I ordered a new mailbox post today. Between last episode and this one, there was an accident in the middle of the night in front of my house where a car went in the ditch and flipped over my driveway and landed upside down in the parking lot next door.
Thanks.
At the metal shop, and I just happened to, I couldn't sleep I turned off my podcast. I went downstairs and I was sitting outside and I heard it. So I called 911 and headed down the driveway and helped these kids out. It was 3, I think 20-somethings. Helped them get out of the car, occupied them, made one not move, tried to keep one from moving, and he would not listen, and until 911 got there. And it's so funny to think, I can't imagine when they were not in shock anymore. Like, nobody was seriously injured. 2 did get taken on backboards away. The driver was better off. And I was like, wow, when they came out of shock the next day and we were recovering, the memory they must have of this green-haired lady descending down the hill out of the darkness in my Chewbacca robe. It's all right. Help is on the way. I got you. So, weird memory for them.
They'll have a story.
Yes,
Yeah.
they'll have I'm surprised they haven't called me, because at one point one of the guys asked to use my phone, and so he could find his phone in the wreck, and he called his phone. But I haven't heard from any of them, and I gotta give shit to like tow truck drivers. They make a bunch of money to go pick up these vehicles at accidents, right? And they're supposed to pick up, and I know this. They get paid for cleaning up all that stuff. And my husband, who already has driving anxiety, he didn't even go through all this. He just saw the aftermath because I made him wake up. And when emergency services was there, so I could go put actual clothes on. And just driving out and seeing bits of car everywhere, it was very triggering for him. And I just had to go down, like all the tow truck drivers did was they put my mailbox and what was left of the post over on the correct side of the driveway. But I have a giant spring. I mean, granted, I'm going to make a cool lawn ornament out of that. But my son and I had to pick up and like fill the back of my SUV with all kinds of bits of car.
Yeah,
So-
that's like, they're supposed to do that because that's dangerous to be on the road.
Well, it wasn't on the road anymore, but like there's this big grassy area between my driveway and that parking lot. And there was and the ditch on the other side from before they hit the mailbox, because they went through the ditch a ways. There were just car parts strewn all across. The only place they removed anything from was like my driveway and the parking lot, maybe. Because I had already moved stuff out of the road before they got there so that the trucks wouldn't hit it. Because, Virgo. I don't know. So what have you been up to, Ray?
Steen! Well, first I visited my parents and my godmother, which was super awesome. And my godmother's the one I did like 8 different butterfly paintings for. And she's like, I'm so sorry that like when you did those for me several years ago, I couldn't pay you what they were worth. So then she like gave me an envelope, and I look, I'm like, oh my god, there's $100 in there. And she's like, go on. And I'm like, I don't want to count it now. So I counted it today. I'm like, just big eyes. I need to go to the bank, and yeah, I gotta go to the bank. And she was also like slightly chastising me. She took and got a couple of them, those and some other stuff that I had done previously framed. And the woman who did the frames was like, "Oh, where's this art? Where's her gallery that she hangs everything in?" And I'm like, and he's just like, "She doesn't have a gallery." And I'm like, "You could have told her about my Instagram." But yeah, so I'm like, well, rental property is expensive. But
True.
it was a very nice surprise. So
You might check with your local arts council.
that's
We
true.
have a space that the Arts Council has in town, and they feature local artists once in a while.
I should do that. Yeah, because I know there's one closer to the city. Since I'm like north of the city, I'm a bit of a different. But on the crafting side, I actually put together my Halloween wreath again.
Yay!
Ta-da! it had fallen apart, so ye old trusty glue gun was able to
Gun.
reattach
I'll
my
put pictures
skull
of all
and
this stuff on our
roses.
page, people who are listening.
Yeah, we'll show pictures.
Yeah. There will be pictures of it. I got my flu shot, and then I did the big one, which took most of Sunday. This is the headpiece that I did for the Monster Prom character of Zoe.
Amazing.
It's so
It is
impressive.
huge. It's
Holy
actually bigger
cow.
than it might be a little too big, actually, but it's fine.
And I apologize for doubting your use of pantyhose.
Because that's fantastic.
That turned out awesome.
So what I did was I looked up like how Star Wars cosplayers did Twi'leks, because the Twi'leks have the two long braid things, and I'm like, I thought I remembered something about pantyhose, and yeah, that was until like recently somebody had started making like latex versions. I'm like, I'm not that good. I'd love to play with latex casting, but I'm not there yet. So pantyhose it is. But yeah, it's pantyhose. I added some armature wire so I can actually move most of the tendrils. The eye is just like a monster eye that's like on sale at Michael's. I got a pack of 5 of them. So I just like need to add some stuff around it. Oh yeah, no, they have all kinds of like little monster eyes that you can add for like wreaths and stuff.
Ooh, I gotta go over that.
And then I used fabric paint and then a spray paint version. And then went over it with actual paint, which I will probably going back to Michael's to get more paint, because the lavender shade that matches my makeup more, because my makeup doesn't match that dark purple, glows in the dark. So I have more incentive to do that. But it's Zoe from Monster Prom, so it's basically like this chthonic purple entity with like multiple eyes, and I got my yellow hoodie that she wears behind me to start on as well.
But cute.
Oh yeah, no, she's adorable. She's best girl. Hands down. My favorite. And we finished watching What If, which wrapped up the finale. Very good. I enjoyed it a lot. I'm also excited because Captain Carter will be in season 2 of What If.
Yay.
They did
and
such a
then-
good job with that.
And then Squid Game. I finally watched all of that. I liked it for the most part. No spoilers, but I am a little upset at how it ended. But it's fine. I really enjoyed everything. It was great. It was I got emotionally invested. I like Battle Royale, and after, I think, episode 2, it made it like, this is the similar premise, but not the same, so. Which was good. I liked that.
Right on.
So
I
that
forgot
has-
to mention my game.
Oh, go ahead.
So, I have been playing Boyfriend Dungeon, and I was just gonna check it out and then start playing spooky games, and I have played hours and hours, like days in
Yes.
a row. I am hooked on this stupid game. It's I think it's undeniably good for the silly premise. Like those of you out there who haven't seen this, it's a dungeon crawly game, but it's also like and a dating sim, right? But
Date your
you-
weapon.
you're dating the weapons, and there's like people that turn into weapons, and when you date them, it's like you go to dungeons and you get to know them on dates, and they each have individual stories, and they you unlock different skills as you spend time with them and get to know them. So each of them like is different combat when you go in the dungeons, which is neat. Each of them has their own stories. The writing is good. It's not even like all bad translations or anything. The language is very, I just cleared the first dungeon today, and I got a new dungeon, and then I met a new person, and I met a non-binary person who was just texting me and being like, "Hey, I just recently like came out, and so use they, them, okay?" And I love that. That makes me so happy. And there's discussion of, well, it's it is about consent. I'm gonna I'm a little confused about the cat I just met. I mean, I guess it's just a different kind of relationship, but I'm excited about having a claw weapon. But yeah, the characters evolve, the weapons evolve, and I'm hooked on this thing.
Join me in the dark side of the dating sims.
Oh my gosh. It's like, I don't want to be embarrassed by this because it's just objectively good. It's just the premise is so... It's so silly. But there's so many... Like, there's only one girl I can date. And it's like a bunch of dudes. Although I suppose that's realistic, right? That's my bi-pan experience. Cats are easier to come by, that's for sure.
Yeah, mine is finding out like 10 years later that my wait, what? Wait, all this time we could have been dating? You were interested in me too? Ah!
I was worried about. I had my first like, oh no, there's gonna be drama. I got asked for a date, to go on a date at the other guy's club, and I was like, oh, this could be bad. And then there was a kerfuffle, but it was like a different dickhead entirely who just keeps bothering me. But anyway,
I have heard good things. I do wanna get. I think it is on my list of
it's
ones
so
to get
fun
this year.
And it's free
Your
on Game
list
Pass
of
right now,
dating
folks.
sims.
I know what I like. I like character development.
No shade. No shade.
I'm screwed now that I know I like it.
They're fun. They're heavy
It
on
would be hard to
character
live up to
development.
this one though, because I didn't even want to like it, and it's good. Like having different fighting styles is like I can justify a lot with that.
Oh, yeah, no, it sounds really cool because it's like, ooh, it's a fighting game. Ooh, it's an RPG game. Ooh, it's a dating sim. I like all of these.
Yes.
These are all things that Ray likes.
I mean,
Yes.
it's frustrating I can never initiate text messages, and a lot of it is texting.
Okay.
That's how all your communication happens. Although someone my age must have written this because, like, you have special items that you can use for weapons that are zines. Like, do you guys even know that
Yeah.
word? And but like, you only have certain choices. You have a multiple choice to respond to these texts you're getting, just like with dialogue normally. But you can also never initiate. So you have to like
Okay.
figure out, run dungeons, hang out with them enough until they ask you out. And I'm a little more initiative taking than that in real life.
Dream Daddy was like that too, where you had you exchanged numbers so you could text back and forth. I liked Dream Daddy. There's no dating sim that I've played that I have shame about. So if you want to try and shame me for anything on my Steam playlist, go ahead.
It beats real dating. I could just turn it off if it goes awry.
It's like, whoops, said the wrong thing. Reset.
Yep, I've done that. Oh no, the character I like had accidentally said the wrong thing because I thought it was a funny haha, and it came out as a mean like and I'm like, oh god.
It's not real life. I
BioWare.
can't just call and clear it up.
Not in a BioWare game. I go back to my last save point. Garrus, I never meant to hurt you. You're my one true love. No. All right. So enough talking about beautiful bug men. We're gonna talk. Discussion topic is haunted houses and mazes. So we just thought it would be fun to talk about some of our favorite like haunt experiences that we've had, especially since it is the spooky time, and maybe not everybody is comfortable enough to do an indoor haunt, so we can talk about ones that we've done, but we can also talk about like outdoor haunt experiences.
And also talk about the fact that some of us don't do haunts because we have a punch response.
Which everybody who runs a haunt appreciates you not punching them.
Yes.
Because, yeah, I actually did see a friend of mine who works at a haunt.
She got a
somebody
concussion.
Had to go to the ER.
Yeah,
Oh,
someone
no.
like
Get
pushed
checked
her.
out.
Someone pushed her hard enough that she sprained her neck and got a concussion. I was very upset.
Oh
Ugh.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But she's okay.
she's okay.
But
jeez.
that's not... Do not touch the actors. And if you think you have a fight or flight response, just don't go. You can watch scary movies at home with friends
Mm-hmm.
and punch them.
Well, and
They
there
might
are
be
other
used to it.
options we can talk about too.
Yeah.
It
There's-
occurred to me when we were talking about that during the production meeting, because I know people are afraid of that, and they were very careful. I went recently to Midway Wicked Woods here in North Carolina, and they were like, okay, my monsters are not going to touch you, so don't touch them. Unless you touch them. Well, they won't touch you much. So, I mean, it was just not the best disclaimer, but yeah, they were really good about it. I think once somebody brushed me on the back from behind when I was almost through a room. Like, they were really good at pulling short. Although when they jump out, yeah, they could still get punched.
Oh, yeah.
But I also don't react that way to jump scares, thankfully, because I can punch.
Yeah, I actually pull in on myself. Like, I usually go through like this, and I'll like, beep, or I'll scream, but I have trained myself not to. I am here for fun. Don't lash out. Hold in.
I engage, weirdly. Like, they'll be like, rah! And I'm like, oh, hi! There was one that was kind of looked like Venom. And I was like, oh my gosh, that looks like Venom. That's so awesome. Rob, did you see that? You know. And there was this really creepy coming toward us slowly woman in white, looked old, hunched over, and Rob's like, and Rob had said when we walked by her and spotted her earlier, like, oh gosh, it looks like my ex-girlfriend. I'm like, yeah, you would, that's who you would date, exactly. And then we got her on the other side of this clearing, and there was this torch going off near us, and she came slowly walking over. I'm like, uh-oh, Rob, she remembers you too. And she just came right up to me, and then she gave me a sucker.
Aww.
Because I was just like not backing off. I'm just like, hi.
Yeah.
The only
Yeah.
got me jump screamy thing, and I didn't really jump so much. Somebody came tearing behind us, past us, really close by, and he was kind of like ninja thing, and he was screaming, and I screamed back. I mean, in my heart, I was startled. It could have been like, startle scream, but instead I just went, aggressively at him as he went by. I don't know. I'd probably be really good. I'm good in crises. So
I was telling y'all at our production meeting, because we were chatting about, you know, what topics we wanted to do. I'm pretty sure that my reaction kind of stems from the fact that from about middle to high school, I had a friend who made it her mission to sneak up on me. And I started responding by turning around when she would jump on me with a hand raise to like smack her. So I think that might be where my fight reflex comes from, because most of the times if I get scared by something, I freeze. I have the freeze response usually. Like if something is coming towards me that's, you know, creepy, and this happens sometimes at LARP. They'll do like a creepy mod, and if you don't know, you know, what to expect, I know, and it's so strange. I have to caveat all of these. It depends on the character I'm playing, and what have you. But generally, if something like is creepy, I'll do a freeze response instead of fight or flight, except if it's a jump scare. If somebody jumps at me, my reaction is to just punch. And I don't know. I think it's from just that one friend, and she's a very sweet person. She just thought it was hilarious.
I don't know how I got to where it is just, if I'm just that insensitive, like jump scares don't usually get me. Not in games, not in videos, not in real life. And so somebody in school when I was younger would try that kind of thing, like try to sneak up and boo. Like I would just kind of not react, turn around and go, no. And just don't. But and then they just quit doing it. I guess it's like being bullied. Like if they pick on you and it doesn't work, they stop trying to do it eventually. Like it ramps up for a little while because somebody has to try to, oh, I'll get her. Oh, I'll get her. And then when it just doesn't work, they stop.
Yeah. Like I know in specific, there's just one instance where we were at a LARP. It was nighttime, and one of the plot staff was doing a thing, and she was standing in the shadows playing a little like glockenspiel. She was playing just creepy little glockenspiel music in the shadows. And she was in the shadow of one of the cabins, and I went up to the cabin. My ear picked up the glockenspiel, and then I looked into the shadows and saw a shape. But I didn't know if she was in play, out of play, some random person in the woods, somebody I didn't actually know. And literally my response was to freeze in my tracks. I was just like trying to figure out what I was looking at.
See, and that's something I like. I think is a very, when it's well done in these places, that is good horror. The suspense, having an occasional character, not every single thing is jumping out at you. Like we went through like a little chapel at one point at this one I went to recently, and there was a nun there, like, you know, undead nun situation, and you have to get through this entire room. You can see where the exit is, and you're waiting. Like, is she gonna say something? Is she gonna jump? Is she gonna scream? Like, and then never did anything. And having those placements here and there makes the scares so much more effective. And having like well done dummies, so you're creeping by because you don't know if it's actually a person they're gonna start to move. I love this one. Was really well crafted. My expectations were low, even though it's been around a long time. I'd never been to anything like this, but I have been to like Scarowinds, which meh. Universal Studios in Orlando, I'd been to theirs. That was quite good, and that was like, you know, movie quality and shit. So I had low expectations for going out in the woods in rural North Carolina, and it was very well designed and well done, especially in those respects. And the makeup and stuff, I mean, amateur but effective.
Good. Yeah, this is the first time we've done an outdoor one in a long time. Like, I think my last outdoor one was when I was still a teenager, and it was just like one in Woodstock, where I grew up, in like North Cherokee County. I don't know. This is the first year that they are doing it. They basically I guess they worked with the Ren Fair place to rent it out or use that facility. So you walk the whole thing, which is about 20,000 steps, 20,000 steps is what I counted on my Fitbit. But it was neat. They had some, so this is the Village in Georgia. And they actually had like the front section open, but you needed cash. They didn't have a card reader set up, which I was a little sad about. And they also had some add-ons like, while you waited, there was axe throwing in archery that you could do. There was a foam pit that you could be in. And there was like a little zombie like paintball shoot game. And I kind of wish we had a chance to do that. Because that looked cool, and that would have gone over to like one of the stage areas where they usually have the performers. And they had that whole little first quadrant to the right blocked off for that. So that would have been neat.
Oh, they had all kinds of stuff going on. That's really cool.
Yeah, no, they had like a lot of stuff while you wait, because even if you bought you could buy a ticket as early as 5 o'clock, but you couldn't start until the sun set. So you still had to wait till like 7:30, 8 o'clock. which I thought was a little weird, but whatever. Uh, it's also, like I said, their first year, so they get a lot of leeway doing this. The company is 13 Stories Haunted House, which it's not their first year, but it's their first year at this location, so leeway
One thing
there.
I really didn't like in the one I went to that I wish they had warned me about somehow, or I felt maybe they should, because I mean, obviously it's not handicapped accessible or anything, but
Yeah.
and so because they did have one thing, it was like a trailer set up like a completely dark maze, which is its own experience, especially with this really people that were terrified that were sent with us. But there was one part of a maze area that was lit, but I came to a dead end and I was trying to figure it out, and I was like, oh, so there's this head hanging down there. And I bopped it. I had to get on my hands and knees to crawl under and through in the dirt to get to the next room.
Gotcha.
Eh.
Not everybody's gonna be able to crawl, like if you have knee problems or back problems. Yeah, no.
And I was an idiot and wore my sandals. Ugh. And my mask got filthy. Because I took it off. I was worried about dropping it when I had to pass through the stuff in the tunnel. And I crawled through the dirt with it. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, but yeah, I will say it was very big. It looks like they might, like, it is well spread out, but because you are walking through our Ren Fair, there are points where there's not much, just kind of the creepiness of, I know what this is usually like during the day and with like happy
When
drunk
people are here.
around. Yeah.
That would be a neat added thing if it were somewhere I was familiar with, I think.
I was disappointed because I thought the whole theme was also going to be like Ren Fair-esque, like just like an old-timey, like maybe not even 1800, but like 1600-esque, like Fear Street 1666. But like one of the first things you see is a fire truck, and I'm like, oh, man. And then I hear a chainsaw near the end, and I'm like, I hate the chainsaw. I
They
freaking
kind of
hate it.
overdid the chainsaws
Even when they're
at
not
Midway.
aggressive with it, I hate it. It's dumb, and I hate loud noises.
Oh, they started. Ours was like a hayride type, a cart to the starting area, and like a clown leaped right onto the cart with a chainsaw and like was using it. Boy, he was good though, I gotta say. Like, boy, he was into this. Like, using the chainsaw to propel himself like down the center of the cart between us,
Oh, nice.
and then like as if he was going right at people and stuff, and for a good part of the ride. But then they kind of overdid chainsaws. I think there were like 4 more, and it was only like a 40-minute tour. I'm like, no,
Too many.
it loses its value, man. It's good for shock. I keep an electric chainsaw in my house because I don't have a shotgun, but nothing says get the fuck out like that sound. But it was kind of overused in that haunted house. I could see where like it's a really good gag, but you know, too many, and you're like, yeah, whatever.
Too many
It's at the end,
chainsaws.
just one. But you know, I was like, eh. But no, there was like it's the village, so there's supposed to be creepy witches. So there was like this epic witch burning scene, which was super cool.
Neat.
I thought there would be more witchy things and lead up and build up to that. I thought that was gonna be like the crescendo, the focal point, the big part. But that happened actually pretty early, so I was like, oh, okay. So now I'm just gonna see what the rest of the creepy stuff is.
So do you think they could have used a better theme?
I think they could have been more. They needed more cohesion with the theme. Yeah, or like more of a story, and that could be just because I'm spoiled with Netherworld.
That's true.
Because that is what Netherworld does usually, and I freaking love it, and I lap it up, even when they have 5 freaking chainsaws on one of them.
Too many chainsaws.
Too many chainsaws. Is
But
there such a thing? Yes, apparently.
but like our Ren Fair has like a little haunted house thing anyway, so you got to go through the Ren Fair haunted like mini house haunted pirate ship in addition to the regular one that you paid for. Then you also got to go through the maze that our Ren Fair always has, which has a slide at the end. But you can opt out of the slide, which is good because the slide wasn't very slidey. Like I had to push myself down. I'm like, I'm not that
Jeez.
big, am I? But overall, it was fun. We got buy one get one tickets. I think that pricing was fine, but I know it's double. It's like 30 per person, and I'm like,
Oof.
that might be a little too much. But it is long, so you do definitely get a lot of different experiences. And like I said, it's their first time, and like you could just hang out in the front. Like they have the turkey legs and the basic food. They
Oh,
even
nice.
have beer, so you can go through buzzed, I guess. Don't hit anybody.
Be careful with that. Yes.
It's like, it's just very. Oh, they had a mechanical bull. I didn't see that was going.
I can't imagine how much. I already am like, hi, monster. Like, if I had a few drinks in me. I mean, I got drunk last week and was just like, I love you texting people in the middle of the night. I'm not an angry drunk.
Oh, we
Did you
definitely
guys
enjoyed
go? You're mentioning the regular haunted house thing at your Ren Fair. My Ren Fair doesn't have one. But did you guys go to like those kind of fun house things when you were kids, or any of these haunted things? I never did any of this kind of thing when I was a kid, but you know, they had like fun houses at carnivals and that sort of thing. And the Midway Woods that I went to did have like the last thing you went through to exit was one of those swirly rooms.
Yeah, I've been to Gatlinburg before, and they have like a Ripley's Believe It or Not. And they have like the swirly thing, and they have that at Netherworld too, which is super fun.
I was a big scaredy cat as a child, so my to go on ghost tours, because my mom loved ghost stories. I like them better now, but
I was gonna say that was the alternative I was gonna suggest for you.
Is we got to a point where we would compromise. If it was like an older city, like we visited, like, you know, like some of the older cities in South Carolina and that kind of thing. She somehow was able to find ghost tours that were pulled by a horse-drawn carriage. Once or twice, I think. I can't remember how many times, but I very distinctly remember the one where we were in South Carolina, because I loved horses. I was a horse girl. Loved horses. So we compromised. I got to look at and pet the pretty horses, and we went on the ghost tour during the day.
Well, there you go. I think there's one in
like,
Asheville that's on a bus.
It's interesting now because I'm so much more into folklore now. Like I adore folklore now, and a lot of that is like ghost stories. So I'm not a gigantic scaredy cat anymore. I still don't like being scared, but
did a couple ghost tours for Marietta and Alpharetta and like the local metro area, and they're okay. I mean, yeah, it's like haunted stories from the past here, or this old mill and how many people but it's like I kept anticipating like something else, like at some point somebody's gonna creepily come around the corner or a jump scare or something. There never is, and I'm always disappointed by that.
I did a ghost tour. I've only ever done one once, and it's kind of on my list of I would like to do more of them in other cities. I did Statesville's, and it's a small town, but I found it super historically interesting, and there was nothing jumping or anything, but they started it like right at the old City Hall building where they have, you know, displays of pictures of historical events, but they kind of start there and you get to see pictures of this famous train wreck that happened in town and hear some of the stories that have evolved from that, of sightings through the years. And then a few different locations in town, like the Vance Hotel. There's an old Civil War graveyard where we've got an unknown soldier. There's a story that there's Tom Dooley and that's something that can be looked up. But there's a whole play that the local theater does here every single year, this hanging that took place and this drama around it. And there's a few ghost stories that come from that about one of the characters in that who haunts a certain area of our downtown and apparently shows up as a cat. And that was... It was just a lot of really cool stories until like 2 days after that, when I tried to rescue a kitten and it ran into traffic, and I was like trying to comfort the person who was helping, and it was like it was the horrible witch cat anyway. Like, what? It's like, just, let me tell you this story. I don't know.
I'm trying to keep you. I'm trying to comfort you. I'm sorry.
Maybe it'll help.
It was like I'd been thinking better of trying to rescue this cat. We'd been working on it for like a week. And then I did. I got it in a trap. I got it, and then transferring it to an actual cat carrier and stuff. It scratched me, jumped out, and right in front of a car. Yeah, it was horrible. But it was on that exact same corner where the sightings of this ghost supposedly happened, that shows up as a cat and tries to lure people into the street.
Weird.
To get hit by a carriage, because it was, a long time ago. So neat, huh?
That's kind of cool.
I mean, that's it's a little chilling, actually.
But yeah, no, like every year we would do at least one haunted house. We always had like, especially growing up, the school would put one on, like not maybe the school, but like the community center or something. It was never very scary, but it was kind of fun. So I'm really used to them, and I always do the and I scream, which makes the actors very happy, and they like to pick on me because I scream, and that's fine. I accept my fate. It amuses Scott, so there's a bonus.
The only like haunted house I very distinctly remember going through as a child, I was very little. The daycare center that I went to did like a big Halloween like party thing, and they had set up like a haunted walkthrough in like the toddlers' rooms, which I had never been into because I was slightly older. But they had like baby and toddler rooms that they took care of the littlest kids in, and then there was a different area for the slightly older kids. And I just remember going through that, clutching, I can't even remember if it was my mom or my dad. One of them, I was just clutching their hand and like going through with my eyes shut. And that I opened my eyes at one point and there was a room with a strobe light going, and somebody was in there as like a witch. And I was terrified.
Aww.
I know my favorite one when I was a kid was the gymnastics gym that I went to had a haunted house. So they spooked it up and you had to go through the gym area. But the best part of it was gymnastics gyms have these giant pits full of foam. So when you jump on the springboard and you go and you try and like catch the bars and you miss it, because you will miss it unless you get it right, and you fall into this giant pit of foam that's like probably only 5 feet deep, but when I'm a kid, I remember it being like a bajillion feet deep. And then what they did was they had because everybody who was there was part of either the ballet or gymnastics. So they took the balance beams and put them across the foam pit. And they had like 2 or 3 people in the foam pit that were reaching up trying to pull you into the foam pit. And it was so much fun. And you were only supposed to go through once. And my best friend was with me. And I think I was a pirate and she was something. And we switched costumes so we could go through again and try and pretend we were different kids. And they probably knew, but they were very nice and let us go through again. That was hands down like my favorite one as like a little kid, because of the foam pit.
You never did any of this when I was a kid. I don't know why either.
I love them.
I don't know. Probably too expensive. I don't know.
I also remember there was a house on the street where I grew up, where one year the owner of the house did the scarecrow thing, where he was sitting on his front porch dressed as a scarecrow, but he was being very still. And we didn't realize he wasn't we didn't realize he was a person until he got up. That was also terrifying.
Anybody else's neighborhood have like the haunted garage? Like I know some people will do like a whole haunted house, but like we had one or two people that would have their haunted garage, so it was like separate enough that you weren't like stranger danger, I'm going to a stranger's house. It's like, no, I'm going through the garage and I can easily see the exit and I can kick this man if I need to escape.
Yeah, when I lived in the city, I used to do spider webs like up my porch rail steps, and then I'd be on the porch giving out candy, but like I would keep resetting the spider webs so they actually had to crawl through them to get to me. And play spooky music and stuff. And actually the garage reminded me, one time we went to a friend's house and we had our little kids with us, and they had done a haunted garage and had all kinds of stuff set up.
Yeah.
And my one son just lost it. Like there was a noise, he was trying to go toward it and trying to go to it, and there was a noise, and he screeched and crawled up my husband, like till he was up on his shoulder. Like just, yeah. I have one kid who is very, very scared and squeamish of everything. Like my middle one is just kind of, I don't know. And then I made the mistake of taking the Tower of Terror at Disney, and he didn't go to any other amusement park the entire trip.
Oh.
Oops. I should have realized. I should have remembered. He couldn't even handle
Reason
the
I want
haunted
a
garage.
house. I want to be able to scare children in like a reasonable way, not in a fully traumatizing way. Just, you know, I fondly remember those moments.
Yeah, I miss giving out candy. We live too far out in the country. No one comes out here. Because I used to live in like a college town area, and I gave out so much candy. And then it's like they find out you're handing out candy, and more people come, and I would run out, and then my kids would give me the stuff they didn't want, and I'd be handing that out. And you get a lot of teenagers and stuff, and I don't mind teenage trick-or-treating, but if you're not even going to bother with a costume. So, especially with the amount of candy I was going through, and I was really poor. So I started going to Party City and getting a whole bunch of like witch fingers and spider rings and little rulers that had spooky stencils and that kind of stuff, and I was giving away toys. So then I got even more trick-or-treaters because I had a reputation. But the college kids were just like, okay, well, whatever, I'm just here for candy, never mind. And
Yeah.
so I was going through less of the candy, but the little kids love that shit.
Yep.
Well, I think the big thing now that I've seen kind of being a trend is the trunk or treat, where you have just a whole bunch of people show up with their cars in a parking lot, usually in a church.
Yeah. Most of the ones I know of are like church sanctioned like events to make Halloween less satanic, which
They do a lot of that here, and our downtown
it's not...
area does a trick-or-treat where all the businesses give out candy. And there's like a jewelry store that kind of has a whole little... There's a couple stores that have where you could walk through and around and they decorate. And that's kind of nice.
Yeah, I like the idea. Like anything that gets people together to have a good time, it's fine. I promise you, trick or treat is not satanic. It's
No. We know that.
I know we're just also in the Bible Belt, so
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, if you have any haunted stories that you want to tell us, or really fun haunts that you've been to, please chime in and let us know. Email us at geekgrills@gmail.com, or you can tweet us at geekgrills. Oh, so cool. So Grills, what are you most anticipating right now? Linda?
I'm going to Disney World!
Yay!
Yay!
No chainsaws there.
We have a timeshare, so we're gonna go to Epcot and Disney Studios. That's the second one. So we're only doing 2 of the parks, and we're gonna spend like most of our time just kind of chilling in the timeshare. There's like, they have like 3 pools. One of the pools has a pirate ship in it. I know it's for kids, but I don't care.
Yeah.
Take that ship.
Take that ship. It's gonna be my pirate ship. And I'm just looking forward to like being on a vacation.
Yeah.
Because a staycation is nice. Like I've done a couple of those since the beginning of the pandemic. But there's always like, you're like, well, I'm home, why don't I just clean? I should do chores, I should do upkeep. If you're on an actual vacation, you're away from your house and actually just able to relax. So I'm looking forward to that and wearing all of my cute Disney bounding. I'm Disney bounding as Minnie at Epcot and as Ariel at Disney Studios.
Yay!
And my mom is doing Ursula with me at Disney Studios. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh.
Toes.
So Minnie's going to Epcot?
Yes.
Cool.
We're gonna
Is
eat
Matt
our way
gonna be
through
Mickey?
Epcot. Eat our way through Epcot because it's the Food and Wine Festival.
Ooh.
No, Matthew does not Disney bound.
For shame.
For sure.
Just put ears on
I feel
him.
like you could trick him into it.
Well, he's got an Iron Man T-shirt, so maybe I'll get him to wear that.
There you go.
And he can be Iron Man.
Do
Yeah,
Marvel things or
that's fine.
Star Wars things?
He's got the beard and goatee kind of thing going, so he can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Umber?
I need to get a frame for a cool Dalek poster my son gave me. I'm excited about it. It's kind of like an old comic book cover, but a full-size poster. And
Nice.
so I'm excited about that. I'll be next weekend visiting the wedding venue that my son and his fiance will be getting married at next year, so that I can suss it out with the sound system, because we're going to be providing the sound and helping decorate and things like that. So I'm really looking forward to going to Raleigh next weekend for that. And I want to mention, I forgot. How did I forget? Muppet Haunted Mansion is on Disney Plus. Have you guys seen it?
Watch that. I haven't seen it yet. I need to.
I
It's
asked
wonderful.
Scott if he wanted to watch it tonight, and he's like, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch it this week because it came out on Friday. We had to go see friends and be social. I want to see it.
I think hungover on Friday, so we stayed home and we watched it. And it was so much fun. And like being a Disney nerd, there's little extra things to get excited about. Like if you've been through Haunted Mansion as many times as I have, seeing the things that are actually from there and they Muppetized and picking up on different song refrains, and yeah, super fun. I think they did a fantastic job doing honor to that, and there's a lot of little cameos in it, so watch for people you know, including they ended up with somebody who's actually dead now.
Oh,
Probably not on purpose.
not on purpose.
Not on purpose.
Yay! Well, I'm looking forward to more Aberrant and Atomic Youth recordings. Scott has them on Simulacra TV every week, but we're like multiple weeks ahead with what we're actually playing. And I'm super excited because our characters just survived their first NovaCon. Basically ridiculous con shenanigans. So now we have to get together and talk about all the drama that went down. And the next episode, I'm supposed to meet up with my in-play nemesis again. It'll be great. I'm super psyched. All right. Well, remember, folks, you can always come and watch us record live on twitch.tv/geekgrills, excuse me, on most Monday evenings. Next one will be on October 18th at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we will be talking about horror games. And in addition to the subs and bits that we get on Twitch, we are supported by our amazing patrons. You are the greatest girlfriends on the internet. You can become a patron at www.patreon.com/grills. And if you have Amazon Prime, you can sub to us for free every month on Twitch.
And another way to show your support is by leaving us a review. You can do so on any of your podcast catchers. Leaving a review is free, and they help our ranking, which helps other people find our podcast. Also, you can join our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter if you'd like to help spread the word. Also, if you want to see what we're talking about kind of more, we do have a calendar up on our Twitch page. You can check out what's coming up and see us there. And, you know, maybe
Yay!
become a patron. Yay!
Look at our schedule.
Look at our schedule.
Where can we find you on the interwebs, Linda?
You can find me on Twitch and Instagram under the name madcap_misc. You can check out my store at madcapm.com. You know, I might be expanding my website soon. Maybe I'll put some blog posts on there. I don't know.
What about you, Ember?
I can be reached at 9 of 12 on Twitter and Twitch, and you can hear me on the Heresy and Hearsay podcast.
Yay! You can find me on Instagram under Dapple and on Twitch as Ray Ino. Thank you everyone for listening, and good game!
GG!
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
Hooray!
Diamonds!
Diamonds.
Diamonds!
Oh, I could dress up as Pink Diamond for the Halloween
Yes.
party. I haven't done her
I was
in a
also-
while.
The
I
other
don't
one I
even
was
know what I'm
thinking, I
gonna
was like,
do.
I could be a Shadow Girl. I still have like the black suits that we bought for Simulacra.
Yes, I still have my morph suit. Yes.
And you only see me from like this up, so if it doesn't look okay in other places, nobody else will notice.
I'm trying to build a fort.
That's
over
for
here,
me to only know.
We might want to... Oh, let me go to OBS. Because we already rated. Stop streaming. Stop